Well, let's now discuss all of this with Peter Zalmayev, a Ukrainian analyst and director of Eurasia Democracy Initiative. Peter, it is good to see you again, to see that you are safe and well. So let's just talk about the fall of Lysychansk to Russia. Strategically, how big a blow is this?
Well, I would say that this is, first of all, this was desperately needed by Putin. You know, it's like four months of war, and he needed to show his, electorate, so to speak, the Russians, that there are significant victories. And this was, part of this organization of the war effort after the Russian troops were beaten back from Kiev. They said we'll concentrate on the east. We'll try to, conquer the rest of the Donbass, the administrative territory of these two areas, the Luhansk and the Donbass, the Donetsk area. And so he desperately needs to show that, there's a significant military success. For the Ukrainians, the paramount importance was to keep the troops. They did not want to keep throwing their much needed supplies into this battle, and keep in mind that Russians continue to outgun Ukrainians 10-1 almost, and Ukrainians do not have this history and tradition to use their troops as cannon fodder the way the Russians do, and they do not have the sort of mandate to do it. So while it is a victory, strategically speaking, I don't think it is a big one. But yes, Putin is now going to use this to try to regroup, to freshen up the troops, and to continue rolling over Ukraine's territory. Next stop, probably Sloviansk and Kramatorsk.
Now, well, let's talk about this latest event as well, with Ukrainian missiles, crossing over to Russia, civilians killed. Your thoughts on that and the impact that has on Putin, who is trying to perhaps capitalize on that as a sort of reason why Russia should be at war with Ukraine?
Well, you just nailed it with your question. I do not believe, I'm very skeptical that it was Ukrainians. It's not in the interest of Ukraine to be shelling Russian civilian areas simply. From the photos right now that we're seeing, it looks like it may have been a Russian-made rocket, which Ukraine simply does not have in its arsenal. There are several reasons why Russians would be interested in doing it. First of all, there's history and precedent. Keep in mind that 22 years ago, before the start of the second Chechen campaign in Russia, and just when Putin had come to power, there were very suspicious bombings in residential areas in Russia, which Putin then used as a rationale to reopen, the war effort against the restive region of Chechnya. So it's very much in line with this KGB sort of tactics. And keep in mind that Vladimir Putin remains essentially a KGB operative in essence. I think this is a way to try to rally Russia, possibly to try to start preparing Russians to the idea of a full-scale mobilization, to try to garner sympathy for itself after a series of shellings of Ukrainian population centers, and including a shopping mall last week, and finally to try to dissuade the West from supplying weapons to Ukraine. Look how irresponsible Ukraine is with the weapons. I think this may be part of the plan.
Okay, Peter, we have to leave it there, but we appreciate your time again, and we'll check in with you soon. Thank you for filling us in on what is happening. Peter Zalmayev there from Eurasia Democracy Initiative.